Hi guys, I'm back. I want to show you how to, it's going to be a short little video. I'm going to show you how I grind my sloyd style carving knives. And really all I have is I have this grinder right here behind me, and the table on the grinder tilts at any angle I want it. So I set my grinder table at the angle that I want it to the angle of the belt. And how I check it is after I have the angle set where I think I want it set, I take a chunk of piece of wood, just some little small piece of wood that's square on one side, and I lay the square side down on the table and grind it into the belt. And then after I do that, I take my angle gauge and I check what angle I got. It's as simple as that. So then once I have that set, the only thing I have is a piece of angle iron and one of my blades. And all I do is, and this is probably not going to be hard to see, but I'll give you a close-up. All I do is take one of my blades, set it on my piece of angle. I have one of these little clippy clamps that works pretty good. And once I get it set where I want it, I use the clippy clamp to hold it in place on one end. And then I have a big old C-clamp. It's a 4-inch one. You can use any size you want, I suppose. And I put that where I want it. Well, anywhere you want, just as long as you get a good clamp on it. And I clamp it, and then I check it and make sure it looks lined up the way I want. So then when it's all done, what you end up with is you end up with a blade that is, and I'll leave this clamp on it too, it's clamped in two places and it's hanging over the edge of this piece of angle iron, just like so. And then I just put it on the table, this side down obviously, and I usually use the clamp as a handle, and I just start grinding my angle on both sides. The reason I leave it hang out over the edge of the edge is that way I can grind this side. I don't have to remove this thing from the fixture at all. I just turn this thing around and then I can grind this side. And this works real well on my grinder with the little table, but I have a piece of plate steel that I put on the table for when I'm doing longer blades, because if you don't, this little thing, when you run it off the edge, it'll run right off the edge of the table and it doesn't do you any good. So I have another fixture with a plate that's longer and heavier. That way I can put that on there, bolt it on, and then I can do the longer stuff. But for the little short ones like this, it works real fine. So let me go ahead and I'll go over to the grinder and I'll show you how it works. Okay, we're over here at the grinder. I hope you guys can hear me. It's kind of loud. But really all you do is you just take the fixture, set it up on the grinding table like so. I'll get over to this one side, and you just run it up, and you take your mark off. And you just keep doing that till you get to the size you want. And at any time, you can turn around, flip your fixture the other way, and come over to this other side, and you can grind it. Just like so. I have a really light belt in there right now. I didn't change the belts out, so it's not throwing too many sparks. But you know, I usually start out with I'll have to change that belt before I actually do that knife, but I wanted to show you guys how I did it. And I start out with a heavy grip belt, usually like a 60 grip belt, and I run it down till I get, I keep an eye on it, make sure I keep my center on center, and I take it down till I get around a 1/16 or so stock left on the edge itself. Then I turn around and I put and I'm not even sure what this is. Where's it at? Right here. I go down to another grit, which is about I don't know, if I was to guess, maybe 120 or 160 grit belt. somewhere around there. And then after I do a few passes with that, I go down to, I think the one that's on there right now, and it's like almost a 400 grip belt. And then what that does is it leaves a really nice finish on it. And then you could go to a 600 or 800 grip belt if you want, but I usually stop there. And after you're done with all 3 grip belts, this is what you end up with. And hope you guys can see that real well. You end up with a really nice blade. And these are my little 2 1/4 inch sloyd blades that I actually are going on my website. I just love these little knives. They're awesome little detail type carving knives, and they work real good. They will be handled, and the handles are going to vary. The handles are going to vary from being cherry to hard, you know, any kind of hardwood. But it just depends on what I have in stock here. But or if you guys want one with a special handle on it, you need to just email me, and I can go ahead and try to make you up a handle of your type of wood that you want. But anyways, so then after I get these down to this point, which I don't know if you can tell, but there's just they're not sharp, but they got just a fine line of stock on them yet. Then they go into the forge again and they get heated up till they're non-magnetic, and I quench them in warm oil, and then I heat treat them, and they get handled. But anyways, I just want to do a quick little video on how I sharpen my sloyd knives. These are the 2 1/4 inch ones. I think I have on my website itself, I have, which is primitivehunter.net, I have like a 3.5 or 4 inch one, a bigger one that was handmade. It was hand ground and the whole 9 yards. It's on there. These ones are all you know, done on the machine, all the bevels and stuff, and then I do some grinding and some forging on the blade itself to get it to size. And these 2 are probably going to go on in my Etsy shop, which is Primitive Hunter. That's the shop name. And I may throw one on the website too, which is primitivehunter.net. But you know, if you guys are interested in something like this, check it out. I got all kinds of carving tools now. I am fully stocked now. I have, in fact, that's why I'm working on these, because these are kind of fun to make, and they're going to be a reasonably priced thing. I think I'm going to price these at handled. Boy, I don't want to say for sure. I have to figure out how many hours I have in one totally. But I'm thinking I got 2 hours in each knife, plus a little bit of handle time. So they're going to be around 40 or 45 bucks for one of these. Guaranteed to be razor sharp, guaranteed to be a very good whittler. You know, but you know, all handmade, hardwood handles, whole 9 yards. I might be able to do a little cheaper. I gotta figure out my time. That's the big thing. You got to figure out how much time you got in one of these, and how much money, how much an hour you want to make. Because I just charge myself by hour. I don't charge for using that machine or whatever, because I do make everything in-house. Make the handles in-house, you know, the whole 9 yards. But anyways, so I just thought I'd do this short video on how I sharpen my sloyd style of knives. Thank you. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on the next one.